Back to this final segment of the show with Mr. Sam Latham, the publisher of the Urban Journal. And of course, Mr. Latham, before we had our final commercial break, we were talking about some aspects of advertisement dealing with the Urban Journal and other newspapers. But let's give you, over the last 6 minutes that we have here, an opportunity to talk about what newspapers are all about, and that is issues and whatnot. What do you, as the publisher of the Urban Journal, consider to be some of the major issues that you have to face and that you have to address doing your reflection on what this newspaper is going to be all about?
Oh, thank you. One of the major issues, and perhaps one of the more perplexing, has to do with the reemergence of race as an issue. You know, at one time I think people thought that we had passed that stage, and in many regards it's hard to really tell whether racism, classism, but there's definitely a separation that exists, and I think it's even growing larger, whereas people have stopped talking to each other about some of those issues, and it's easy to overlook, but then when you really delve into it, Nashville's known as a progressive city. However, you have the flags that were erected last year. You have a statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest that was added to it this year. Then when you look at, even look a little deeper and more subtle issues, you find that corporate Nashville is still pretty much lily white. There are educational institutions here capable of producing leaders, but nobody's mentoring them. So nobody's getting them ready to take over a First American, a Dillard's, some of those places. So there's some things that we really have to get at, and I think that we have a responsibility to bring some of this to the forefront without necessarily causing confrontation or trying to polarize things, but feel that we really need to get on top of this before it is getting worse.
You know, I think quite recently, Mr. Latham, you will recall, we had a conference in town, Ed Fish University, the annual Race Relations Institute,
Right.
and I think that you would probably agree that this is the kind of forum that you're talking about that we need to develop. Is that?
It is the kind of forum, but the biggest problem that I think they did an excellent job of addressing race, but they were preaching to the choir. The governor should have been there, the mayor should have been there. People who can really do something.
Affect policy.
Right. Corporate Nashville wasn't represented, so the people who